You'll first encounter Preceptor Seluvis after speaking to Ranni. Talk to Ranni, talk to Seluvis's ghost, and then return to Ranni to enable him to spawn at Seluvis's rise. After you've done all of that, speak to him in his tower.
Well, you took me at my word. Did you not realize I was merely being polite? Oh, you provincials never cease to amaze. I suppose you're here now. Perhaps I'll give you something to do. I'd like you to find a woman called Nepheli to administer a potion. Even you can do that much, can't you? Good, good. Now I shall hand over the potion in question. Find Nepheli and ensure she drinks it. I expect glad tidings, and soon.
After you're done talking to him, he gives you a tonic. You have two options. You can give the tonic to Nepheli Loux after progressing to her questline to the point where she gets to the Roundtable Hold. You can give it to her in the Roundtable Hold. Alternatively, if you want the Dung Eater's puppet, you can progress through his questline after he invades you and you defeat him, and then he returns to the Sewer Gaol. Once he's in the Sewer Gaol, you can give him the tonic and he will become a puppet, available later on to be purchased at Seluvis's shop. In this video, I chose to do Dung Eater's puppet. Now, in this video, I'll be showing you very briefly how to do part of Dung Eater's questline. Now, you can skip all of this if you look at the timestamps down below. But if you want an in-depth guide on how to complete Dung Eater's questline, check out the link in the description. In order to get to Dung Eater to spawn in the Sewer Gaol, you have to get to Leyndell Capital after you reach Altus Plateau. Go from the very first site of grace in the capital of Leyndell. This is the easiest Seedbed Curse location. Now you only need one Seedbed Curse to get him to spawn in the Sewer Gaol and be able to give him the tonic the Seluvis gives you. Now follow the path that I'm following in the gameplay and you'll get to the first Seedbed Curse. After you acquire the first Seedbed Curse, if you want Dung Eater's puppet, follow the path that I'm following in the gameplay. You have to go down into the sewers. Now, if you know how to get to the sewers, the subterranean shedding grounds, you can skip this part using the timestamps down below. But I'll be showing you how to actually get to the sewers in the gameplay. Now, of course, this is optional. Again, this is optional. This is only if you want Dung Eater's puppet. Otherwise, you should be following Nepheli Loux's questline, which is far easier, and it requires only to talk to her in Stormveil Castle and summoning her for the Godreg boss fight and having her be in one of the locations that she is in her questline. Now, in order to get to the subterranean shining grounds, you have to jump through a well. Now, this well can be easily reached from the balcony side of grace in Leyndell. Follow the path, again, follow the path in the video.
Who are you? I've been here long enough. I will kill again. And defile each corpse just to be sure that when they're reborn, they'll be cursed. Along with their children. And their children's children. For all time to come.
After you free Dung Eater from the Sewer Gaol, go back to the Roundtable Hold. Interact with this message. It says that he will defile you next, and he's waiting for you near the moat. Now, the moat is this location. Once you reach this location, you may encounter Blackguard Boggart here. If you've been doing his questline through Raya's storyline, you can speak to him. He gives you a Seedbed Curse at the end of his storyline if you reset the area after exhausting his dialogue and buying some crab. Otherwise, if you haven't done any steps of this questline, you will just be invaded by Dung Eater, and all you have to do is kill him. After you kill the invader Dung Eater, you can return to him at the Roundtable Hold, exhaust his dialogue, and then travel to his actual body in the Sewer Gaol. This is where you'll be able to give him the potion the Seluvis gave you.
A curse, along with it. No. I am the Dung Eater. I am.
After you've chosen either the Dung Eater's puppet or Nepheli Loux, you can travel back to his secret chambers. Now, this is hidden by a hidden wall and a hidden floor, which you see here. I've already opened it, but yeah, it's located right here in the Three Sisters area near Ranni's Rise, in some ruins, next to an enemy. Now, you can find all of the puppets here that he's transformed, and you can find Nepheli Loux here also if you've done her, or Dung Eater in the next area next to Selin. Now, you have to come here and interact with that message that says, do not touch, these are Seluvis puppets. If you don't do this, you cannot progress through his questline. So come down here, interact with that message, and then go back to him and speak to him.
Ah, so you made Nepheli drink the potion. Well done. You are a touch more useful than I had thought. Very well. Then you shall have your gift. Knowledge of the sorcerous arts and of the tutelage of the great Preceptor Seluvis. I doubt much of it will lay within the grasp of a mere tarnished, but if you put your mind to it, perhaps you won't embarrass our lady. You wish to begin right this moment? Well, your impatience, though boorish, is understandable. Let's have at it. So, you had Nepheli drink the potion? Truly? Then perhaps something was amiss with it. It's concocted from the finest ingredients, but perhaps I should review the recipe. I may have expected too much of her to begin with. You break into a man's private chambers, rooting about as you please. Your oafishness knows no bounds. Fine and well. You tricked Nepheli and had her drink the potion. I believe that makes you my accomplice. You yearn for a puppet of your own, Well, normally one of your stature would never be allowed. But perhaps I can make a very special exception. Now, choose. You break into a man. You're fish fine, and you trick me. I believe that you yearn for. Well, but perhaps now.
This is not confirmed, but you should buy all of his puppets and his spells in order to progress through his questline. You don't have to hand him over any scrolls, but you can do that too if you so desire. But what I did in my gameplay was I just literally bought every single thing that he was able to sell me, and I was able to return to him and complete his quest. After all of that, reset the area and pass some time. Now this is what worked for me. I reset the game and it didn't work, so the only thing that worked was going to the Royal Moon Gazing Grounds, and I waited until the next day or just much later in the day. And then I returned to him and I was able to continue his quest.
You want another puppet? Quite the keen paramour, aren't we? But I'm afraid each and every one is like a child to me. I can hardly just give them away. Oh dear, what's to be done? Why don't you Fetch me some starlight shards. If you can manage it, I'll gladly prepare a new puppet for you. The soul of every puppet has its own ambience. You'll soon come to know once you possess a few. And once each's predilections are known to you, the better you will be able to love them. Oh yes, you have much to look forward to further down this road. You're proving to be quite the puppeteer. I've not had an apprentice for a very long time indeed. Begging for another the remains. Perhaps you'd be interested in a little scheme of mine. It will produce the finest of puppets, which I aspire to cherish with these very hands. A ploy to fool even Lady Ranni. How does that sound? I knew I had you pegged. You're just like me. Then I'd like you to procure something. A rather unique starlight shard that glistens with amber. With that, my special draught will gleam with nectar sweetness. And even a demigod would be slave to its charms. Procure it for me. The rather unique starlight shard that glistens with amber. With that, my special draught will gleam with nectar sweetness. And even a demigod would be slave to its charms.
After you agree to Seluvis's plan, you have to travel to Altus Plateau. Now, you can enter Altus Plateau, of course, by going to the junction, Site of Grace in Altus Plateau. From the Site of Grace, go forward and then take a left when you see a little path, like a dirt path that deviates from the main road. Follow it until you find a sort of cave, and you'll see a very, very shiny golden item here that you need to pick up. This is the amber that Seluvis wants you to acquire. This is the location. After you acquire the amber starlight shard, you can return to Seluvis and complete his questline.
Begging for another lesson, so that remains. Well. You managed to lay your hands on it. The blessed day is finally upon us. Goodness gracious, the way it glistens. Utterly enchanting. To think this was once a demigod's very fate. My, oh my, oh my. Are you still here? Yes, I should give you your reward. Yeah, please. It's all yours. It's splendid work. It's just marvelous. Now just you wait. The merriment is soon to begin. The scheme I promised is to be revealed very shortly. You'll be flabbergasted, I can assure you. The secret I promised is to be revealed. Good. I've been waiting for you. It's finally complete. The perfection of my draught, gleaming nectar sweet. Give it to Ranni and ensure she drinks it. The dead-eyed doll lets down her guard in your presence, rather remarkably. Though she might dip her hands in the dirt and feign that icy persona, she's a frail, gentle girl at heart. You understand, don't you? That once you have Ranni drink my draught, my scheme will come to fruition. And we'll be in a position to claim the very finest puppet ever crafted. Just imagine the pure pure elation.
Travel back to Ranni's Rise and administer the draft that Seluvis gave you while she's asleep. Now, you cannot do this if you've progressed too far into Ranni's questline, if you've gathered the Fingerslayer blade for her. Now, this questline cannot be done if you've finished the game, of course, because Seluvis just dies at some point.
Well, this is a most unpleasant awakening. The depths of wickedness never fail to surprise me. I am saddened that thou wouldst succumb to such depravity. Led astray by Seluvis with devious tonic in hand. Didst thou think to have thy way with me? Begone, hapless scum. I won't have another whiff of thy rotten breath. I have spoken, away from my sight. This is the third time, fiend. Enough of thy unbearable breath.
After you interact 3 times with Ranni, she will literally murder you and Seluvis. This is the end of Seluvis' questline. Now, you are locked out of anything with Ranni, but don't fret. You can request Absolution with Celestial Dew at the Church of Vows, and you can talk to Ranni again, and she will forget everything that you've done with Seluvis. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like on this video. It took an incredible amount of time and effort to get to this point. I know it doesn't seem like that much, but yeah, getting to this point with a character it takes a long time. Anyway, you can go back to Seluvis' corpse and you can acquire his bell bearing. So if you gave him any scrolls, you can acquire the stuff from the scrolls in there. All the incantations and the sorceries that you may have purchased will be available there. But yeah, don't forget to ask for Absolution at the Church of Vows with Celestial Dew if you care about Ranni. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.